Hey, and I am back for another story time video. And so, listen, I feel like I'm kind of taking y'all in chronological order of what has happened in my journey to becoming a chef, but I have another interesting food story for you guys today. And this is the backstory on how I started my first culinary business. And I started my first culinary business when I was 15. But that wasn't the plan. So let me tell you what happened. So you've heard me talk about before about my beloved grandmother who was an amazing cook. Like she used to, cook for our family for all the major holidays from the time I was born till I was 5. My mother and father and I, we used to go to her house every week for Sunday dinner. I remember her selling dinners in her neighborhood, right? And then people would try to copy. Let me get before I get into the story. People would try to copy, right? And I'm like, listen, you can't copy my grandmother's cooking. And so other people would try to sell dinners in the neighborhood too. And then people would be like, did my grandma make this? And I'd be like, no. They'd be like, well, I don't want that. I only want what she made. So anyway, that just gives you an indication of how good her food was. I feel very blessed that her food was hot fire. Now, so I don't want to say that I was my grandmother's favorite, your grandchild, but some might say that I was the favorite. Maybe it's because we had the whole cooking connection and we would sit and watch cooking shows together. I think I talked about that in one of my last story times. But let me tell you. So I was turning 15 and my grandmother asked me what I wanted her to cook for my birthday, which, like, if you love food, other people cooking for you is like your love language. Like cook for me is my love language. Okay. Feed me is my love language. Food is my love language. Like feed me. I don't have to do it. Make it delicious. And I'm in hog heaven. Right. So I was telling her what I wanted. I can't even remember what I said I wanted on the savory side, but for dessert, I wanted apple pie. Apple pie is one of my favorite desserts. And I just, this is before I knew that some people prefer to bake versus cook and all that. I was only 14, getting ready to turn 15. And so my grandma was like, okay, I'm going to make you all the things and I'm going to make you an apple pie. So listen, I was hyped. I was set. I was ready. Okay. Like I was like, oh, about to eat good. Yummy to my tummy. Right. Bet. So birthday comes around. My birthday's in January. It's at the beginning of January. And so Granny cooks all the stuff. Like I'm listening. So I see the apple pie and I'm like, yes. Now, it didn't dawn on me though that I had never really seen my grandmother make desserts. Okay. I never seen her make desserts. So I was like, but I just assumed, okay, that she could because everything else she made was so delicious. So I was super, super excited. So I'm eating the food or whatever, and I get ready to get to the apple pie. And when I cut it, like all this liquid runs out. And so I'm just like, oh, okay, it's kind of juicy, whatever. And then it dawns on me that the crust is not homemade. And so I'm just like, okay, y'all, I bit into this apple pie. And when I tell you, it was so bad. Like my grandmother, I love you, may you rest in peace. It was so bad that I was like, how you be in shock? Like what was happening in my mouth was not registering in my head because I was like, how is this food over here so bomb, so delicious, so everything I have ever wanted in life? And this is the most trash apple pie I've ever had. And you use store-bought crust. Like, how you mess it up with store-bought crust? It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. So after that, I think I had a quick realization that, oh, my grandma can't bake. Oh, okay. Which is why, she always did like hot water cornbread. You know what I'm saying? And I think even though my grandma was a great cook, my mom told me that she used to use like Jiffy cornbread mix. And like, if you use Jiffy, no shade to you, but I don't ever use Jiffy, right? I always make my cornbread from scratch. And so, I don't think I realized that I had never seen her bake anything. So with that being said, I think after a little while, we were getting ready for the next holiday. Maybe it was Easter or something like that. And I said, Granny, well, why don't you do the food and I'll do the desserts, right? Like you do the food, I'll do the desserts because, like, and I didn't want to tell her, like, your pie was horrid. Like, it was horrible. I didn't want to tell her that. And so with that, I started making this pound cake that my mom and her sisters were made when they were younger. They had told me about it, and we found the recipe, and I started making it, and I started selling it, and it got really, really popular. I had my own little business. I had business cards. I was selling cakes to people at church when my church had a golf tournament, and like they had, players from the Chiefs football team there and all that kind of stuff. My cakes were in attendance, right? I don't know if they were supporting me just because, I was a young little teenager trying to sell cakes, or the cakes was good. Well, the cakes were still good because even in my 30s, and I was 15 at the time, I still have people who will special order those cakes for me, and I don't even offer that as a service anymore, but it's more of a nostalgic thing, that people still remember my cakes from high school. So that's kind of how I got started in having a culinary business, was that my grandmother couldn't bake, and she was trying to bake for me, and it was a disaster. So that's how I started my first culinary business, and I still sell that cake to this day. It still makes me money. So in a way, it worked out because her not being a great cook kind of sparked the entrepreneurial spirit in me, and I've always had a food side business ever since I was 15. So, and now I have a full-time food business. So thanks, Granny. Shout out to you. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you guys are enjoying these story times. Let me know in the comments below. I feel like it's a chance for us to get to know each other. So let me know, was there somebody in your family that was really good at something but is really bad at something and nobody has the heart to tell them? Like, does your auntie not know how to make the potato salad, but nobody can tell her, like, stop making the potato salad? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I have family members who to this day who think that they can cook certain things and they can't, but I don't have the heart to tell them. So let me know in the comments below. It's safe over here. You don't have to name names, but just be like, yo, I got a cousin or auntie or uncle or granny or a parent or whoever or a spouse who think their stuff is hot fire and it's not. I want to know. I want to make sure I'm not alone. And yeah, y'all, I will see you in the next video. Peace. This episode is brought to you by funfoodshirts.com, an online boutique that is serving up apparel for every appetite. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to tune into the Eat Out at Home podcast, an audio outlet for foodies who want to cook better, eat healthier, dine together, and enjoy gourmet every day. You can find the Eat Out at Home podcast on your favorite streaming platform. And to see what I'm cooking up in between videos, follow me on Instagram and Facebook for some delicious behind the scenes. That's all for today. I'll see you next week. Peace.